Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. In this video, we'll dive into the information on Azazel Ameri from the Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun anime. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying just sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So let's get started. An opposing force confidently strides through the prestigious halls of Babylos Demon School, leaving behind a path forged by discipline and order. Filled with a sense of duty and responsibility, the students all know her well for her intimidating strength and steeled resolve. Meet the passionate red-haired student council president of Babylos Demon School, Azazel Ameri. The original Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun manga series, written by Osamu Nishi, was picked up by the Japanese animation studio Bandai Namco Pictures, and the anime officially began airing in October 2019 and finished airing its second season in March 2020. Directed by Makoto Moriwaki, Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun is a comedy fantasy shonen anime with themes focusing on school, the supernatural, mythology, and isekai. The animation studio Bandai Namco Pictures is also known for its work with other anime, such as the Gintama series. The manga series also linked her voice actress for the Japanese dub, Sayori Hayami. Sayori Hayami has also previously done voice acting work for the other characters such as Visha from Yojo Senki, Saga of Tanya the Evil, and Maria Campbell from My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. In the English dub of the anime, Ameri is voiced by Kira Bucklin, who has been the talent behind Jolene Kujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, and Jibanyan from Yokai Watch. Azazel Ameri is a young demon girl who's currently serving as a student council president at the prestigious academy of Babylos Demon School. She was raised as the daughter of Azazel Henry, the head of the demon border control. Her father was a big role model for her growing up. Her father's own strict case of justice shown through his work focused on capturing villains as part of his job as the head of the demon border control was a source of pride for Ameri and her father. She often admired him and deeply respected his work, which is likely why she ran for student council president. Ameri has also previously mentioned a plan to join her father as a fellow worker in the demon border control after she graduates from Babylos Demon School. As you may be able to tell, they have a strong familial relationship, although her father can sometimes be overly doting. Her strength and charisma have gained her excellent reputation amongst the student body and the teachers, and it is likely that Ameri secured her position as a student council president thanks to those qualities. Although it is mentioned that she only gained her position in her second year, implying that she lost the previous year to a rival. This may have been due in part to the amount of effort she put into winning a school event for first years called the Harvest Festival. This is an event that takes place in the manga that we may potentially see in a future season of the anime. The Harvest Festival is a ranked test for students to partake in, where the first-year students of Babylos Demon School were expected to explore a jungle in order to collect many plants and creatures related to food, and turn them in for points. Of course, the students getting the most points would be the winner of this event. Whilst we won't be spoiling Iruma-kun's score from this event, it is mentioned in the manga that Ameri's score was 59,000. This was a score higher than Balam's, the head of the Imaginary Things Research Division for Babylos Demon School, old record of 55,000. At the very least, this is a testament to how strong Ameri is. Part of her innate talent and abilities are something that has been passed down through her family, known as bloodline magic. Demons are known to possess these abilities and pass them down to their ancestors. Ameri was born with the bloodline magic known as Romanticis, King of Delusions. Her bloodline magic works by drawing out Ameri's full power and potential when she believes in herself, releasing any restraints and hesitation she might have. We see Ameri use these powers in the anime when she and her friends are at an amusement park, but things went wrong and the people she cared about were put in danger. Whilst observing Ameri fighting, Opera, Iruma-kun's helper, who works as security hired by Iruma-kun's adopted grandfather, Lord Sullivan, notes that her bloodline is a two-edged sword. Opera claims that the Romanticis bloodline magic is likely to be considered the ultimate form of self-hypnotism, and the reason it is a double-edged sword is because whilst you can be powerful and strong when you believe in yourself, you could also become incredibly weak and vulnerable if you lose the faith and become scared of your enemies. Being able to use the ability as well as she did, as well as against a fearsome demon beast, leads us to believe that she is trained in this ability well and that she has an ironclad will. However, it still has downsides if you haven't developed the power enough. We see that Ameri still has to grow in this aspect and that she suffers from bad side effects after using her bloodline magic. After she won, she found the touch of others to be painful, likely suggesting that her body becomes very sore after removing her usual restraints. When showing off more of her feats of strength shown throughout the series, Ameri has been known to have particularly powerful kicks that she utilizes to keep the more rebellious and troublemaking students of Babylos Demon School in line, smashing through stone walls with ease. Ameri isn't all just brawn, however, as she's also known for her highly perceptive and intelligent nature. She is one of the few characters to learn of Iruma-kun's true identity as a human after she observed his behavior. While she was going to originally detain him as a potential threat, this changed upon further interaction with the young boy. However, Iruma-kun held a talent that Ameri couldn't let herself give up. Whilst it may not have seemed like much of a talent to him, Iruma-kun was able to read books written in the human language. This included the forbidden texts Ameri was keeping that had come from the human world. Books filled with knowledge and imagery so powerful and influential that she had to hide them away from the public and conceal their existence. Something so sinister and soaked with corruption that she couldn't bear to reveal her enjoyment of them to anyone. That's right, these forbidden texts were romantic comedy manga. Learning that Iruma-kun could translate these texts made Ameri spare him, and she swore to herself to protect Iruma-kun and keep his secret of being a human safe, in return for him reading the books to her. Thanks to this, their relationship developed positively, and Iruma-kun gains another friend. Something interesting to note in relation to Ameri's powers happens within the series that we believe should be mentioned before we move on to our next topic. However, within the show, when Iruma-kun becomes a temporary member of the student council due to a misunderstanding between him and Ameri over his cross-dressing incident, we learn of a potential new weakness Ameri has. Despite her bloodline magic being suggested to hold the most powerful hypnotizing magic, this may hold more drawbacks than what we can see on the surface. Due to various circumstances, Ameri's caught up in an experiment where suggestion magic-based curse is placed on her. This is apparently powerful enough to change her personality from a strong, cold, and imposing figure to that of an innocent, shy, and meek girl. It is likely that because of her bloodline magic, Romanticis, where she relies on placing hypnotism on herself, that she is potentially more susceptible to hypnotism and suggestion spells or curses. It isn't certain if the curse was more effective on her compared to others because it helped her act in a way she hoped she could, to look more feminine and become more stereotypically cute and ladylike. The fact that Ameri wanted this kind of lifestyle or personality deep down likely was a factor either way, though. The personality-altering curse potentially did activate, or at least deeply interacted with her Romanticis bloodline magic, as it was likely affecting what she believed she acted like and how she should behave. The same way her bloodline magic affected her when she is in control of it. Moving on to our next topic, let's briefly review and explain Ameri's general appearance in the series. As a young 16-year-old demon girl, she is quite tall, standing at 190 centimeters. She has bold red hair and eyes, which are likely what earned her nicknames such as Scarlet Chan in the Japanese dub and Lady Redhead in the English dub, both names given by Clara. She has similarly colored cat ears that seem to add as a second pair of ears alongside her more flesh-colored and pointed ones. Although it seems they have been described as hair locks rather than just ears, so it isn't entirely certain if she can hear out of both sets of ears. However, they do seem capable of movement, as they work as a way to tell her what her emotions are. When her ears are slanted, she's confident. Her ears tilt downwards midway when she's confused. They stand on end and become particularly pointed when she's surprised, and when she's upset or embarrassed, Ameri's ears stay drooping downwards. We all want to feel as confident and look as strong as Ameri does, and whilst not all of us may have the confidence to pull off her bold look, there are other ways we can feel fashionable and feel like we're also supporting a cause we respect. That's why... Just quickly interrupting today's video to let you all know that our merch store has received an update. Finally, at last we have released our 70K merch! If you're interested in picking up some high-quality merch, the link will be in the top line of the description. I recommend hurrying, though some items are limited and will only be available for a limited time. These items are also signed by James Seifer. And if you use code WTC70K, you will save 10% on any merch purchase until August 31st. So hurry while you can! Link in the description below. And thank you all for 70K subscribers! Now let's get back to the video. Now that you've learned about a great way to continue supporting us while looking fashionable, let's return to our deep dive on Azazel Ameri. Any who have seen some of our videos may be getting excited for what's also a fun part of these deep dives as well right now. That's right, the name analysis. Ameri's forename may come from various different elements. When taking her name apart by looking at the Romaji and Kanji, we can try looking further into the potentially hidden themes and concepts that link to her character. The beginning letter A may translate to second or Asia. It isn't known if Ameri has any siblings, as this hasn't been revealed within the series in the anime or the manga, but this may be a reference to the fact she is a second red-haired demon with cat-like features that we see after we meet Opera. Asia may also be a subtle link to her interest in human culture, specifically the literature of the human world, like manga. The me portion of her name could have the various meanings of bud, sprout, or shoot. The imagery of a young seedling or a plant starting to grow may show off her sense of incompleteness, desire to grow, and the fact that she's still young and has far to go even though she already seems strong. Finally, Ri is definitely a part of her name that links directly to her skills and her personality, as it can translate to the meanings of reason and logic, clearly shadowing her intelligence, perceptiveness, and ability to think strategically and logically in a situation. Now, moving on to her family name of Azazel, This is where some meanings and things can be particularly interesting, especially in the terms of applying them to a demon, a denizen of the demon world. Why? This is because Azazel is a biblical figure and name. Within the Bible, Azazel is a fallen angel responsible for introducing humans to forbidden knowledge. The concealment and possession of her forbidden texts taken from the human world, held as forbidden knowledge she indulges herself in, makes for a very interesting parallel. Azazel also means scapegoat in Hebrew, and in the Old Testament in the Bible, this is the name given to the recipient of a sacrificial goat. Outside of biblical usage and meanings, the Old Hebrew usage is entirely certain, but may have either been used as a name for where a goat is to be sacrificed, or it may be the name of some sort of evil desert demon. The image of becoming a scapegoat, or a sacrifice in general, may potentially relate to when she had the personality-altering curse placed on her, making her appear weaker and less reliable, whilst her rival for the seat of student council president attempted to usurp her position. However, the imagery of being a scapegoat may potentially also be alluding to a future struggle or issue Ameri could be facing in her future that we haven't yet seen in the series. Perhaps her connection to Iruma-kun and the fact she is already a demon may lead her to becoming a risen demon, what we like to assume is the theoretical opposite of a fallen angel. Ameri's name may also be a potentially edited anagram. What do you ask? Well, if you reverse the letters of Mary's name into Iruma and replace the E with a U, we actually get Iruma, as in Iruma-kun. Whether this is intentional or not is potentially debatable, but very interesting nevertheless. Before moving on from the name analysis, there's another point we would like to elaborate on that some may not know about. Within the manga, the official romanization of many characters' names weren't seen until chapter 185. Before this, her name was spelled as Amelie instead. Another influence and interest Ameri has had throughout her life are evil dolls, also referred to as Aku dolls. They are very similar in concept to the human world's idols, putting on concerts and bringing happiness to others through the power of song and dance. During her fight against the demon beast in the amusement park, she seems to use the effects of singing a song from one of her evil doll bands she had previously listened to in order to solidify her willpower and influence over her self-hypnosis during her battle. Thanks to her further interactions with Iruma-kun, we learn of another character who realizes they never had any real friends prior to entering Babylon's demon school. Iruma-kun and Clara had both never had a friend before, but both had wanted to make one, and Ameri became included in this trend. Even then, Ameri still hadn't made any friends until she met Iruma-kun, despite having attended the school for a full year before their entry there. After some time interacting with Iruma-kun and learning to escape from her cold and strong exterior, she began to make more friends in her school. Ambition is a great source of support and pride for Ameri, and she resolutely follows the ideals and themes that ambition provides for herself and for other characters within the series. Her ambitious personality is what helped give Iruma-kun a purpose and goal to strive towards. However, her ambition has been put under scrutiny before. When put under the personality-altering suggestion curse by one of her fan club members, she lost what drove her and she began to think that just becoming a shy and cute shell of her former self would be enough as long as she was with the person she realized she'd fallen in love with, Iruma-kun. Thankfully, Iruma-kun talked her out of her slump and encouraged her the same way he had been uplifted and given purpose by her. Thanks to his encouragement and being reminded of her ambitions and goals she worked hard to strive towards achieving, she returned to normal. Ameri may have initially come off as a hot-headed yet shy stereotype and trope we often see in anime and manga, but she has ultimately proven herself to be more than just a character cutout. She has her own interests, her own ambitions, and goals. Her violence is also usually well-placed and carried out for the sake of justice and protection of those she cares about, and she still has even more room to grow and develop as a person. Another small detail in terms of Ameri's design is also in how she usually fights. Whilst her fighting style isn't a particular ability of hers per se, it's an interesting parallel that further sets her apart from some of her counterparts from other series and shows. Rather than resorting to the typical punches or throwing people around, she has a different way of handling fights. When disciplining students and when she's seen fighting the demon beast, Ameri is still seen mostly fighting in close quarters, but has a greater tendency to throw kicks and to jump in order to add a greater force behind those kicks. This is mostly in spite of her wearing a skirt, which may suggest a further level of confidence in her image as well. As we reach the end of our deep dive, what are your thoughts so far? How do you feel about Azazel Ameri? Are you hoping to see more of her soon? Do you think she's going to be a strong contender for one of the more popular tsunderes? Also, are any of those who enjoy the romance aspect of this show in particular rooting for Ameri to end up with Iruma-kun over her potential rivals? Well, you might not all have to wait too long for more answers and questions to start rising, as Season 3 has been announced to begin airing in October of 2022. We will all be looking forward to seeing more of the adventures Ameri has with Iruma-kun as their relationship continues to develop and her strength grows. We'll all be supporting the fantastic creators behind the series as we look forward to Season 3 of the anime, and we encourage all of our lovely viewers to support these creators as well. Thank you all for indulging yourself in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. At We the Celestials, My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to send you an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members from 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. And if you want more content from me, check me on my social medias from Twitch, Twitter, and more at Trina Do Heart. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.